going live. I'm not doing anything super special. I just decided that I would go live this morning. We'd have a little chat. I haven't been live in forever. It feels like forever anyway, even if I have been. I am sitting here drinking this is soda this morning, but it's got lime in it, so it's good for my kidneys. And I thought that I would come on, chit chat with you guys a little bit. I've got a project over here. Let's see if I can show it to you. I bought this cabinet at the thrift store, and I'm wanting to get it all cleaned up and do a little bit of work on it because it doesn't need paint. Let's see if I'm smart enough to turn this on. It doesn't need paint. It just needs a little bit of wiping down. And then I'm going to put some of these DTF transfers. If you're old like me, DTF doesn't mean the same thing it does now. This is direct to film, I think, transfers. And in my day, that makes something completely different and not safe for work back then. So, but these are some transfers that I got from Vine. I am so grateful to Colleen for telling me about Vine on Amazon. And can you see those? Aren't they so pretty? I really like these things. And I'm trying to figure out how to open the package. I used it a couple of days ago. I put one on my clapper. Good morning, Colleen. Good to see you too. I put one on my clapper the other day on the side that I don't put down on the fabric. And I just think these are so adorable, so vintage. And if you can see in the background, there is now a lot of pink and flowery in my room. Back in, let's see, October, I decided that I was going to thank you, Colleen. I was going to take some time off in December to rework my room. And anybody who has hung out with me on lives or on videos has seen how bad my room got, right? So I decided that I was going to take some time off and preload everything I could, shorts, videos, and stuff, and clean my room up a lot. And I did. Only it's taken me longer than I thought it would to get my room done. I have got almost all of it done, but now I'm down to I need a place to put my tools, which is why I got this cabinet. Hello, Charlotte. How are you today? That's why I got this cabinet, is so I could put my tools in it. And I'm going to girlify it up and turn it all pretty for me, because if it's in a girly looking cabinet, maybe my tools will stay in my room. I've had 3 drills disappear in the last like 4 months. Wayne sees them, sees, ooh, new shiny tool, and he takes off with them. Well, I never see them again. Even the one that needs a charger, that charger is still plugged in at my desk. Wayne takes them and goes off. So I'm going to prettify and girlify my little bitty cabinet here. Hi, Deborah. How are you today? I'm going to girlify this cabinet, and then I'm going to put it up in here with my tools in it, my screws, my drill bits, my drill, my hammer, which has a pink handle. Why would a man take a hammer with a pink handle, especially one that's got just like a really light handle on it? I use mine to, knock a little nail in. He needs hammers that do things like drive roofing nails. I don't do that. So anyway, what's going on with all of you guys? I haven't seen anybody in forever. And I put up a picture last night and Deborah goes, I miss seeing you. So I thought, well, let me go live and at least touch base with everybody so that I can, let you guys know that I'm still alive. You have a brother that steals lighters and pink didn't stop him. My brother used to steal lighters too, but I don't hang out with my brother much anymore, so I don't have to worry about it. And these don't want to come out now that I managed to figure out how to open the package. Now they don't want to come out of there. And Colleen, this is Vine. I don't know if you heard me say that, but this is something I got off of Vine. These little, I guess that the front piece doesn't come out. These DTF transfers, I got them off Amazon Vine. Uh-oh, why are we hugging Deborah? Just to say hello, or is something wrong? She just got home from work and grocery shopping. But see, here's one out of the package, and I'm trying not to get that glare on it for you. But I think these are so pretty, and they will look so good on that cabinet. Rainy and damp is never fun. And then let's see. I know, I miss seeing you guys too. It wasn't so bad when Colleen was still doing lives, because I could go to her lives and live through her. But since Colleen has gotten so busy and so sick, she's not doing lives anymore. So I guess I got to step my game back up and do lives again. Not that I mind. I don't mind at all. But, I get on here and I start talking. And all I'm doing right now is I dumped a little bit. Let me see if I can do this so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I dumped a little bit of the Windex that's in this bottle on my cloth so I could wipe down the front of this cabinet because the bottle's not wanting to spray for me this morning. Well, howdy, Sylvia. Awesome, Colleen. I appreciate that. Yeah. Colleen's having way too much fun now. She's getting to see her grandbabies a couple days a week, which is nice. And she has 2 grandbabies, a 4-year-old who is full of vim and vigor and energy and ready to rock and roll all the time, and a newborn baby who is just too cute. And then let's see, can I show you? I mean, see how cute this is? Inside this cabinet. May as well dust the inside of it. I went into the thrift store looking for something. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew I wanted a little cabinet. And I walked in there and I saw this and I was like, ooh, but it didn't have a price on it. And I'm peeling off the price sticker now. So I went and found a guy and he told me $10. And I was like, oh yeah, $10? Perfect. I'll take it. Thank you. I appreciate that, Colleen. So literally, I picked it up to turn around and walk to the register. And right beside it, there was another solid wood bookcase, which I was also looking for that because I needed something on our porch to hold all that extra stuff, like your bone meal and your blood meal and fertilizer and little pots for starting plants. And so I set this cabinet down on top of the other one, and some older man stopped and started talking to me, him and his wife. And I told him, I said, I think I'm going to buy both pieces. It depends on what the price is. And his wife said, well, let me go inside and get you an employee so they can give you a price on it. And 2 guys came out. The same guy who had given me the price on this white cabinet said $15 for the bookshelf. And I said, okay, $25 for 2 pieces of furniture that I've been looking for is perfect, right? So the other guy that came out with him was like, yeah, that's fine as far as price goes. And then as soon as the first guy walked away, he said, we're not doing that to you. He said, the bookshelf is $15, what he just said. He said, but how about $5 for the white cabinet? And I was like, oh no, he just told me 10. And he said, okay, can y'all read that? He says, how about $4 for the white cabinet? And I was afraid that he was going to end up throwing the white cabinet in with the bookshelf. And I said, okay, I'll take it. Thank you. So $19 for two pieces of furniture. And this white cabinet is perfect. There's a little bit of, it looks like somebody started painting it down here on this left hand end, but I don't care. Where I'm going to put this cabinet is right here in my sewing studio. And I don't care. I'm like, that's great. All right. So, and then what I'm thinking is I want to put just a couple of the little pieces of this transfer stuff over here. So I have, Khalid's gonna kill me when I do this. I have scissors here, and I'm gonna cut out this one piece because I'm using my fabric scissors to cut something that's not fabric. To put on one door. And this is the easiest thing in the world. Heather. Oh, Heathen. I was going, who's Heather? I know, awful, aren't I? But anyway, so I'm gonna put, I think maybe you guys aren't gonna be able to see me for a minute. But can you see that? I'm thinking maybe right around there, and then I have a little rose with a butterfly to put on the other side. Aren't they just so cute, Sylvia? And literally, this is from Vine. So $4 from the cabinet, and then a free or almost free decoration for it. And I will have the cutest cabinet in the world, right? And this stuff is so easy to apply. I did a short on it the other day, and I don't know if any of you guys saw that, but this goes on so simple. I was just like, this goes on easier than Cricut. Then, like when you cut stuff with the Scan and Cut or with your Cricut, this just goes on so easy. I may never make another Cricut one again. The only thing about it is I need to make sure when I pull the back off that all of the paint stuff sticks to the clear film on the front. So what I'm doing, back to me a little bit so you can see, is I'm taking the white off the back. I didn't print these, Sylvia. These are a commercial product. And I should tell you that my hands are shaking because of meds that I'm now on. And I guess I haven't talked to you guys in forever because I just thought I haven't told them. Back in September, I think it was it September I found out I was diabetic, guys? Some of you know that because you talked to me outside of here. But I went and had blood work done in August. Oh, I'm still putting up shorts, Deborah. Lots of them. And that blood work showed that my A1C, my blood sugar level, over the last 9, and the optimal blood sugar level is under 6. 7.9 is an automatic diagnosis of diabetes. And both of my sons are diabetic. One of them has type 1 and the other has type 2. And what I have now is type 2. And in somebody with arthritis, as big as I am and as old as I am, being diabetic is a huge risk factor for heart attack and all kinds of nasty stuff. So I immediately started working on that. I put up a community post last night with a picture of me. What's not? Oh, my shorts aren't. Yeah, YouTube loves hide and seek. Anyway, so I immediately went on back on the weight loss diet and started working really hard. And then I got a really bad arthritis flare. And let me turn this a little more. I'm trying to show you guys how I'm doing this. So I got a really bad arthritis flare. And then I spent 3 months all but unable to walk. So September, October, November, most of December, I couldn't walk without my cane. And I mean, not take 2 steps, not go to the bathroom, anything. And even with the cane, it was still tough. So, after a whole lot of back and forth to doctors and raising cane because my RA doctor wasn't helping me, I did finally get some relief from that. I got put on prednisone, and I took prednisone for almost 2 full months. A month to kill the flare, and then another month to taper off of the prednisone. Now, do you see how easy that was to put on there? And everything's exactly where it's supposed to be. And I'm just using my finger to rub that down. And that is permanent. I can feel it on top of that. He's having issues. Hi, June. He's having issues with his diabetes. That's never fun. And I knew how bad diabetes could get, but because my son is diabetic, the boy, oh boy. So now my A1C is 5.5, and I have lost almost 70 pounds, which is why I don't look exhausted all the time anymore. Oh, is that Cody has diabetes? Or one of the others? I know you've got like 43 sons. Well, 5. But anyway, so my diabetes is under control. My doctor is thrilled. My A1C is 5.5 now, so right in where she wants it. And I'm doing way better. I'm actually working outside in the garden most days, and I've been actually working on rebuilding a part of the porch. We had a hurricane come through 2 years ago that took out the front panel of my porch, just where the screen doors were. And I'm working on putting those back into place now. So I'm getting there. Don't forget. Don't forget what? Oh, don't forget to thumbs up. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate the likes whenever you give them to me. And I'm trying to take... This is the hardest part about this, is taking the backer paper off. And really, it's not that hard. I don't know if you can see, but the painted part sometimes wants to stick to the backing. And so I just have to go back a little bit and just peel it. And now I've got all of the painted part on the plastic. And I don't really want to stick my thumb in there. And then I'm going to put the other one, let's see, around here where you can see it. I'm going to put the other one down over here. And I'm using their tool to just make sure everything is straight. I mean, this is so simple. And I'm keeping my finger underneath that edge because it's hard to peel that plastic back up off of the surface of this. It's some kind of a laminate. So I'm just keeping my finger there so that I can peel that off. Oh, it's because I went live on YouTube, Colleen. I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that. My computer was giving me fits yesterday, my laptop. And so I just used my phone to go live. And can you see how easily that is peeling off of there? And yeah, it stuck pretty aggressively, but it didn't take any of the finish off of the cabinet. So now my cabinet has some decoration on it to make it more girly for my room. Oh, you're home good, Sylvia. And there's my two little pieces of backer. And my garbage can isn't within reach. So let's see if I can get this around here. How does that look? And that took what, 5 minutes? Maybe 10? And then I can take the cloth where it's dry and rub over it if I want. And I've seen all kinds of different techniques used. I've seen people go and take a little bit of paint and go over that edge so that it looks like it's blended into the background color if you wanted to do that. But I think that looks really cool, and I think just a couple of little pieces make that cabinet look better. And the cabinet maybe weighs 5 or 10 pounds. Oh, see my chicken? That's a fine item too. I saw that pink chicken and I was like, oh yeah, that's mine. It just fits me so well. Just fits my vibe. So anyway, what has everybody else got going on? Thank you, Sylvia. I like it. I think I'm getting rid of this plastic folder thing because every time I go to pull these out, it just gets in my way. Gotta be smarter than the folder. Yeah, it's a chicken. Let me tell you, I have gone through this room, and I need to do a tour for you guys so you can see the simple way to do this. Rip this thing off, because it's just not staying together. I need to do a tour so you guys can see, but like I said, anybody who's been here a while can tell that I put doors over all of that cabinetry up above. I have my design wall still, and those are my blocks of the month so far. You haven't cleaned anything in months? Nothing at this moment, Charlotte? You don't have any projects going? Oh, Colleen, I bet you have too. You're just like being modest. All right, so we got rid of the plastic, and I'm just putting it all back in their little folder. And I do like the way this folder's made because it's got a tab. And that, if I get all of the transfers down in there, it's got a tab at the back that you just slide that in, and then it stays together for me. So, but when I was straightening out my room, I did remove some stuff, some things I kept, like the tool storage up there. But the counter that used to have my laptop on it has now got my cutting board and my iron, or my cutting mat and my iron. My sewing machine is right here, and my serger is just past it. Don't expect a tour of mine anytime soon. I'm thinking I probably need to tour mine before it gets any worse. I still have one more piece that I need for in here. I need either a filing cabinet or a filing folder of some type, because I apparently have a ton of paper printed out patterns, and I need to find a place to store all of those. I've got the cabinet down for my tools, and I'm going to put that somewhere today. I don't know where yet, but I need a filing cabinet so that I can put all those printed paper patterns away. Say that 3 times fast. And that should make things a little bit easier. And then I have got my box for the block of the month over here. And Sylvia and I are still working on it. Let's see, Quilt Magazine arrived with 40 log cabin FPP patterns. Right up your alley, Sylvia. I don't do FPP. They don't make sense to me. I understand them intellectually. I don't know. But when I sit down to do one, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, I have. Hold on. Let me show you what I got. Is this what you're talking about, Colleen? This kind of thing? I have a lot of stuff in binders. See this? I think that might really work well for the patterns. I had labeled it projects whenever I did it, but I think it's going to end up holding patterns instead. Oh, you're talking about like a shoebox. Like this. Mine are bigger than that. They won't all fit in here. I did do one thing whenever I was working on my room. And guys, I have been using Chat GPT since August or September. I don't know. You have a taller one of these for that? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, well, I think it's just different ways of how people think, Sylvia. And I think you're right. The reverse image thing, when I sit down to do it and I'm putting the pieces together for FPP, that the fact that everything's reversed just messes with my head. And we don't need anything else messing with my head. I do enough of that all on my own. But what I was saying is I've been using Chat GPT. So when I started reworking my sewing room here, my studio, I would take things that I had questions about, and I would ask Dot, which is what I call my Chat GPT bot. Okay, this is what I think I want to do, and can you give me a better suggestion? And sometimes Dot did, and sometimes Dot didn't. Yeah, Deborah, I think it's like the exploded boxes. The reason that I started learning to sew was because when there's a test called the ASVAB that you take in high school. It's an armed services battery of tests. I did great on all of the verbal side, but the spatial side, where you're supposed to say, okay, here's your diagram and what will it look like when it's all put together, failed every one of them. I didn't understand any of it. So what I did was I started using patterns um, to learn how to make like pajamas for little kids and stuff. I made a lot of clothes for my kids when they were little, and that helped me see it a little bit better. But the same thing doesn't work for FPP, and I have tried it. Oh, Deborah, I have way too many projects going. Um, I took, I think I had 20 this size shoebox in here that were full of scraps. And in my brain, I had separated them by color or by project, or like Lori Holt had its own box. And, this manufacturer had its own, and this was solids and this was whites. The only box that survived was this one. I now have one of those great big moving bins, the plastic ones with lids, down underneath my table, and all those other boxes except Lori Holt and the white got poured into that bin. Lori Holt didn't go in there because I have other plans for the Lori Holt fabric. I have an applique quilt that I want to do later this year. And then the rest of those scraps, I'm just working through them and trying to get them used up. And then I have my iris box that I used last year for the block of the month. That is sitting over here with all of this year's fabrics in it, and I'm working on that. And I think every craft person always has too many projects going. Yeah. Deborah says she's got plenty of projects. Yeah, so do I. I don't need to add anything else. But ChatGPT also helped me figure out where to store all of those projects until I actually am ready to get to them. So that's a good thing. And then the other thing that I've been working on that I want to do, and this is why I'm working on this bin down here, is I have all the pieces. Let me pull this out of here so it's not torn up. That's a hound dog with big ears. And then I have all the pieces for that bear everybody wants to make, and I don't have the pattern envelope. They're all in this one little box here. I want to make scrap fabric so that I can do the bear and the dog out of scraps for Christmas gifts. You have 5 quilts from last year? You're not adding or finishing them, Colleen. That's how you end up with 38 quilt tops sitting underneath your desk. And all of mine are now under my desk. Yeah, I think especially if I take the scrap fabric and make it like into yardage and then use it to cut the patterns out of, I think those would make the cutest stuffed animals. And then I have a shelf up there above my pegboard. I'm not going to show it to you today, but I will show it when I do the tour of my room. That shelf, I think I'm going to put at least one dog and one bear up there made out of the patchwork fabric. And anything else that I make is going to be Christmas gifts. Yeah, the shelf is not useful for me for anything. Oh, it was in the short I put up yesterday or the day before when I was talking about using the reacher in the sewing room. I'm looking for where my reacher went now. Oh, if I only had a brain, we'd be in good shape. Anyway, I was putting the Christmas tree that I made a couple of years ago up on that shelf, and I can't reach up there. I can't even stretch to reach up there. So the reacher makes it way easier. And it's supposed to be hanging on my pegboard, and it's not. You guys think I'm just lost my mind? Well, hello, guess who, Nancy? How are you today? I only intended to be on here for about a half an hour. Yeah, I do a lot of picking up stuff with my reacher. Let me see if I can find it. Where did I put it? I don't know where I put it. Is it laying on the table? I don't know. Oh well, I will find it. I probably took it out to the dining room out there and used it. Uh-huh. See? They are snarky until they need it. And see, Nancy, this is what I've been playing with is some direct to film transfers. And these I got off of Vine. And I just put some of it on a cabinet over there that I bought to hide my tools in. The laundry, I have 3 of them, Deborah. I didn't think about putting one in the laundry room. I guess I'll have to get a 4th one. But I have one in here, I have one outside on the porch, and I have one in the kitchen because I just had Wayne put me some heavy duty shelves up in the kitchen to hold stuff, and the things on the top shelf are hard for me to reach. This is Joe Yan, and it's direct to film transfer, rub-on transfer for home and office. See if that shows in there. And I will put the link in the description for this video when we're done. I will put the link for it. Sylvia, you're closer to my age than, well, I guess all of you are pretty close to my age. You have 3 also. I'm 5'8", but lifting the shoulder up to reach things that are up high is hard for me most days. And I'm actually trying to do more than I was doing before. So my mom was only like 5'4", 5'5", something like that. And even just that 3 inches of difference makes a huge difference in how far you can reach. Wayne's only 3 inches taller than me, but he can reach stuff on top of the cabinets, and I can't. You're going to be 69 this year, Deborah? Wow. I'm going to be 60 this year. I feel old. I guess that's churlish to say to somebody who's about to be 69. But Sylvia just hit 70 and her 50th wedding anniversary, March 20th. Now, Deborah, did you see that video where I was talking about Sylvia's anniversary? I got married the first time on March 20th also. But if I had stayed married to him, I would just now be getting out of prison for murder, probably. Yeah, I've seen your grandson, Deborah. I think he's like grown or an older teenager. He's a very tall young man. I did see him. Yeah, 50 years. I would just be getting out of prison. My first husband and I, oof. And we tried for the sake of our kids to be polite to one another, to get along, that kind of stuff. It worked okay for a while. We, well, about 2 years ago, I told him, I said, you know what? I don't have to talk to you anymore. So I'm not going to. I was like, no. He made a comment to my daughter-in-law that she repeated to me. And I went back and asked him about it. And he was like, oh, well, she failed the test. I wasn't expecting her to repeat that to you. And I said, who told you you could insult me to my son's wife? Well, I just wanted to see if she'd be loyal to me or you. I was like, there's nobody to be loyal to. As long as she's loyal to our son, I don't care. You know, that's what the ex doesn't get. So I told him, I said, you know what? I don't need to talk to you anymore. I don't have to. So bye-bye. And I just deleted him from everything. I think that's the better solution. Then I don't have to drive over to the coast and, do things that would be terrible, that would put me in jail for another 40 years. Down South Stitcher. Hello, how are you today? Diamond painter, dog groomer, and cross stitcher. Boy, you've got a varied array of talents there too. I can't do the diamond painting thing. My hands don't do that. And I'm allergic to hand sewing anymore, but you're welcome to hang out with us. I like to do applique, and Sylvia, who's in chat and has a blue wrench, does FPP, and Colleen also does quilting as well. And I think Colleen and Sylvia both do cross stitch too. And I do you have a channel, Down South Stitcher? I think I've seen your name before. I'm trying to see the picture. Did I see your bead project? Did you post it on my Facebook page, Deborah? You don't do cross stitch, Colleen? Okay. I thought you did. I may have, but no channel. Okay. Do you hang out at Mom and Pop's? Then I saw it, Deborah, even if I didn't comment on it. Yeah, I know Tracy likes to do diamond art. And she cross stitches like a dream. She does huge projects. Tracy Albert, who's also a mod on this channel, but I went live as a surprise this morning, so she didn't even know. She does huge projects. I think she's still working on the Disney princesses. I haven't talked to her in a while, but I need to check in with her and see if she ever finished that. She was doing like 90 pages of cross stitch. That's one pattern. Yeah, I thought about trying out the diamond art, but when I saw the tool you have to use, I don't think my hand would do that long term. Holding something like this for a long time would definitely hurt. Yeah, Sylvia does add beads to her stitching. Oh, yeah. I saw one yesterday that looked like Dumbo. And Dumbo's the first Disney movie that I remember seeing. So I thought, oh, that's really cute. And then I saw that it was diamond art. Now, I do. This is more my speed. And I've been working on this one for a while. I put that up there so y'all can actually see it. That's this cross stitch or paint by number that I'm working on. And I just do this when I just really want to sit here and do something easy. And I think the clamps that I have on this cutting board are actually made for cross stitch or for diamond art. Ooh. You're getting shaky. Yeah, that Colleen has essential trimmers too, so she has issues with that. But yeah, and one of the things that I did do for myself when I started cleaning up my room is, let's see if I can set that up there. I can lean my paint by number up here so I can paint with the paintbrush up off the counter. I'm going to turn you one more time back to me. But it works out easier for me if I can set everything up and then sit here and paint at least on a semi-vertical surface. I am not so organized, Deborah. Your eldest daughter does diamond art. Yeah. I think that it's like cross stitch. Those really intricate ones usually are the younger people. Deborah, I use Chat GPT to help me figure out workflows. Literally, I sat here and on the computer, thank you, Deborah. I went through with ChatGPT and the stupidest little things. I was like, okay, this is how I use this item. And this is what I want to be able to do with it. And then it would propose solutions. And the reason it took me so long to do this room is because in some cases I tried out three or four solutions. I almost said solutions. Three or four solutions before I found something that worked for me. But having this little piece right here, like where I can stand it up and then look at my paint by number, and it's sitting on top of my cutting mat, which keeps me from staining my counter or getting it onto fabric, makes a huge difference too. Plus, I have lots of light over here. Like I said, I need to do a tour for you guys. But having all the light and everything here makes it so much easier for me to see it and for me to work on it. And I really didn't intend to be on here so long. I really was intending to do half an hour. Does anybody have questions for me or delusions or whatever that I can answer or do for you? If not, I'm going to say bye in just a couple of minutes. I do want to thank Colleen and Sylvia for both hopping on here at absolutely no notice. I literally told them 5 minutes before I went live, hey guys, how do you feel about modding for me today? And they both said yes, so I appreciate that. They also both have channels. Colleen hasn't been active for a little while due to health stuff, but Sylvia and I are still doing the block of the month this year. And Colleen will participate when she feels better or when she wants to, even if it's a one off here and there. We're doing colors this year. So we're taking various colors that are maybe a little unusual and working them into blocks so you guys can see how you can use, you go to the fabric store and you find that one shade of something just absolutely crazy, like neon yellow. And you think, how do I use it? Hey, Lori, how are you today? But you find a crazy color and you think, how do I use that? Well, that's what we're doing this year is we're using those crazy colors in various blocks so you guys can see some ideas. Maybe it'll inspire you to do something. Thank you, Colleen. And I will remember to turn Nightbot on next time we go live. I've been on for about 40 minutes, Lori. I'm just actually getting ready to say bye. But I'm glad you showed up. Get another drink here. Always, Colleen. Always. Like I said, she hasn't been doing a lot of them lately, but she's still working. Well, hey, Alfonso. I haven't seen you in a while. Did you change your name again? As BMP. Yeah, this is the first time I've been live in what feels like forever. I've just been doing the block of the month videos and then a lot of shorts. Not as many as I used to do. I'm not doing 3 a day anymore, but I'm trying to put up 3 or 4 a week just to let As Blind Made Production. There you go. Are you blind? If you are, I didn't realize it. Uh, yeah, probably because I'm on YouTube Vertical Live instead of in a regular chat like I normally do. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I went live, and I wasn't thinking about all the ins and outs of lives whenever I went live today. I appreciate that, Deborah. And so I didn't turn on my Nightbot, which I should have done because that gives the moderators a whole lot more freedom. They don't have to go look for links. And Colleen has had to, yeah, a lot probably has changed. So Colleen has had to go dig for links to channels and stuff today. So I need to make sure that the next time I go live, I do use Nightbot. It's across the entire platform. So everybody only gets their handles. They don't get like their channel names unless that's actually their handle. Is that what you're telling me? That's not good. Because I know that some people's names on YouTube are their real full names. And we all found out a couple of years ago that that might not be such a great idea because of the people that are out there. You need to practice. I'm still pretty fast from doing lives for you. Well, it's great to be here. I kind of was like, okay, let me get all ready to go live. And then I thought, you know what? I'm never going to go live if I do that. If I wait until everything's perfect and I have a tutorial to show you and this and that, I'm not going to be able to do it. And so I figured, okay, let's just go live. We'll chit chat. Everybody can have some coffee or whatever drink of choice this morning. And I'm going to try to do at least one live a week. I don't know for sure um, what day or time. Thursday seems to work out well for Colleen, but I don't know how that's going to work out for me because I'm now on 2 injectable biologic medicines and I take them Wednesday nights. Today I happen to be full of piss and vinegar, but some days they knock me out and I end up going back to sleep. So we'll figure it out. You're on the bus going to work. What city are you in, if you don't mind telling me? Alfonso. Some cities have great public transportation, and I would definitely do the bus in those cities, like New York City, but I wouldn't do the bus in Fort Pierce. Denver, I've actually been there long ago and far away. My kid's going to be 40 this year, and I was pregnant with him when I was there. But I've actually been to Denver. Yeah, I woke up just before 5, Deborah. But 3 a.m. means you probably woke up about the same time. It's expensive. I appreciate that, Colleen. There's like no bus pass for people who ride it frequently. I don't know how the bus thing works. I don't know if you can buy like a pass. I know in Fort Pierce, if you ride the bus, you can buy a monthly pass. I want to say it's $60 for the month. I don't remember for sure. But they'll take you, you can go anywhere the route goes. You just have to change buses from place to place. Denver is in Colorado. Yes, Sylvia. And Denver does things like get snow in June and July. Uh, Colleen, you're going to have to figure that one out. Eventually, your body will start saying, hey, it's bedtime. It's 6 p.m. Let's go. And if you're going to do Tuesday and Wednesday, $5 each for the paratransit. The fixed route are $3.50. And you used, I just asked you if you were blind. I don't know if you answered that. I may have missed it. I assume paratransit means that they transport people who have handicaps. So fixed route means you go from point A to point B and then you walk from wherever the bus stop is to where your destination is, no matter how far it is. Okay. I'm just sitting here trying to understand. I know nothing. My late sister-in-law used to work for the bus routes in Fort Pierce, my hometown, and she explained some of it to me, but I know the terminology doesn't always match. Denver may have different terms than Florida does. You're supposed to get bad storms this weekend. Rainstorms or snowstorms, Deborah, or tornado storms. I've been seeing lots of those lately. And then I saw something yesterday about the hurricane predictions for this year. I don't even want to look at those because no, I don't want no hurricanes. We got pretty lucky last year. We only had one big one that we had to evacuate for. Rain and possible tornadoes. I will pray that the tornadoes miss you. Probably the rain you could use if it's anything like here. Oh, you too, little Lori. Not good. Okay, so where's Deborah from, or where am I from? I'm in Florida. Oh no, fights are not fun. See, that would be the downside of using public transportation because there's too many dumb people who get on them and act like it's, 13th grade instead of a place where adults are supposed to act like adults. Hello, Lynn. How are you? Yeah, down South Stitcher. I'm in Florida. Sylvia's in the UK. Colleen, I believe, is in Missouri. Deborah, Illinois. Trying to see if I remember everybody's locations now. And down South Stitcher just told us she's from Louisiana. And Alfonso is in Denver. Yeah, Lynn's also another Brit. Yeah, I just came on to do a quick live just to say hello and catch up a little bit, and ended up doing just a tiny little bit of these transfers on a cabinet that I bought, and showed a little bit of what's going on in my room. Oh, that's not good, Alfonso. I know. I love those transfers. Lynn, I'm feeling way better than I used to. I put up a post last night. I was watching one of my lives from like 3 years ago, and when I turned my head to look at it, because I heard myself say something, I was like, oh my God, I look like I'm ready to kill over and die there. So I took a picture of myself and then put up a picture of myself from last night. You didn't make me do a live, Deborah. It was a good idea. And I need to do more of them, really. But anyway, I saw that picture and I was like, oh. So yeah, I put up the post, and then Deborah said something about, I haven't seen you in forever. And I thought, well, let me get on here and at least say hello. And I do need to I do need to start doing more lives. I haven't figured out when, date, time, all of that yet. But as soon as I do, I will announce it on my community page. Yeah, it sounds like it, Alfonso. There was a case, I want to say recently, but it was probably 20, 30 years ago. I think the guy's name was Bernie Getz, who killed someone on New York subway and then defended himself. So the victims and the witnesses actually got to be cross-examined by the guy who did it. I remember thinking that was just creepy. Sylvia, the last 3 or 4 months, I haven't been up to it either. And now I'm feeling a ton better. So I'm thinking, let's do it. All right, guys. Yeah, it was wrong, Colleen. Bern I wanna say it was Bernie or Bernard Goetz, Goetz, and knowing my memory, that could be the completely wrong name, but he stabbed somebody to death on New York public transit, either a bus or a subway. If you look it up, then that's what you're looking for. And the other reason I need to say bye is because my phone is not liking the chargers that I used, and I'm afraid my phone is going to die on us. So I'm going to say goodbye. Um, do me a favor. Please be the light you hope to see in the world. Say hello to your friends and family and let them know how much you love them. And I will see you guys all soon. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye. Bye, guys. And now I have to figure out how to end the live.